Ever try to imagine like a mountain of food? But I mean, a huge mountain, like Everest, huge, but, made of food. All the good stuff, right?
Okay, yeah, I think I can picture that.
Now imagine a third of it just gone.
Wait, what? How?
Not eaten, wasted. That's how much food is wasted globally. It's crazy.
That's a lot of potential going to waste.
Exactly. And today, we're looking at how to be smarter about it, especially the businesses making the food.
Makes sense. They're the ones dealing with those massive amounts.
Totally. So we're diving deep into this company, GreenFlow Environmental Solutions. They're all about sustainability.
Sustainability in waste management. For food production specifically.
Yeah, they work with those big food producers to handle their trash, but in a way that's actually good for the planet and their business.
Okay, that's interesting because there's so much pressure now on the food industry to become more sustainable. Consumers want it, and honestly, it makes good business sense.
Right. Like they say on their website, going green shouldn't mean being in the red.
I like that. And when you think about how much waste food production creates,
Yeah.
Banana peels, coffee grounds, all that stuff.
And that's just what we see, right? Imagine the byproducts from processing we don't see.
Exactly. The potential for savings and helping the environment is huge.
Totally. They have a whole list of key benefits on their website. One that jumped out was tailored waste solutions. Why is that so important for large-scale food production?
Well, because you can't just have one solution for everyone. A bakery isn't going to have the same waste as a juice bar.
That's true. I never thought of it like that.
GreenFlow seems to get that. They analyze a business's unique waste to find the best solution.
So it's more than just hauling it away, it's understanding the waste itself.
Exactly. Speaking of which, they also mentioned sustainable disposal.
Yeah.
And that's got to be more than just taking it to a landfill.
Yeah, what does sustainable disposal even mean in practice?
Well, it's all about keeping stuff out of landfills.
Mm-hmm.
So maximizing recycling and composting. Food waste in landfills creates methane, which is bad for the environment. So diverting that waste is a big win.
Getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah. They also talk about regulatory compliance. Might sound boring, but it's really important, especially with food.
Oh, for sure. The last thing anyone needs is a health inspector shutting them down.
Exactly. GreenFlow helps these businesses navigate all those rules and regulations.
Like compliance consultants, but for trash.
Yeah, something like that. Another benefit they highlight is organic waste recycling.
Okay, yeah, because who doesn't love the idea of banana peels becoming something useful?
Right. It's the whole circular economy thing, turning waste into a resource.
Love that. And finally, they highlight cost-efficient operations. Music to any business owner's ears.
Definitely. This is where sustainability and economics really work together. Less waste means lower disposal costs.
Makes a lot of sense. So they've definitely got our attention with these key benefits, but how do they actually pull this off? They mention a 4-step process on their website. The first step is a waste assessment.
Okay, so like dumpster diving with clipboards.
I was picturing something similar. Haha.
Not quite. But it can be eye-opening. It's about analyzing a business's waste in detail, seeing how well they generate, what kinds of waste, and where it's coming from.
So really getting to know their trash.
Yeah. And that leads to step 2, creating a custom waste plan.
So that's where the tailoring comes in.
Exactly. This plan uses all that data to figure out how to streamline their waste management, how to reduce waste overall, and how to incorporate recycling and sustainable disposal.
Sounds pretty thorough.
It is. Then step 3 is where it all comes together. Eco-friendly waste processing. They take that custom plan and actually put it into action.
Less talking, more composting.
Exactly. They might set up on-site composting, implement recycling programs, and find the most responsible disposal methods for what's left.
Cool. What about the last step?
The final step is compliance documentation.
Yeah.
Not as exciting, but super important.
Yeah. Paperwork is never fun, but better safe than sorry.
For sure. GreenFlow handles all the permits, reporting, and documentation to keep their clients on the right side of the law.
Nice. Okay, their 4-step system sounds good, but I'm sure you have questions about the specifics.
Oh yeah, tons. Like how do they actually handle the compliance and safety stuff, especially with all the regulations around food waste?
Yeah, good question. And actually, that leads us perfectly into the FAQs on their website, which we'll dive into after a great break. And we're back, ready to jump into those FAQs from GreenFlow. I'm sure you have some burning questions.
You know it. Especially about compliance and safety, with all those regulations around food waste disposal.
For sure. And it looks like GreenFlow gets that, because they actually address it right at the top of their FAQs. How does GreenFlow ensure compliance and safety in regulated waste disposal?
Okay, good. So what's the magic formula?
They use strict protocols for waste segregation, secure containment, and compliant processing.
Hmm. Okay, that all makes sense. But like, what does that even look like on the ground? Secure containment, that can mean anything.
Right, like some high-tech sci-fi container.
Exactly. And what about compliant processing? What does that actually involve? I'd love to know more about the different waste types and how they handle them.
Me too. Well, lucky for us, the next question asks exactly that. What types of waste does GreenFlow manage, and what specialized disposal methods are used?
Because as we said, it's not just like banana peels and leftover coffee grounds.
Right.
We're talking greasy pizza boxes, used oil, all sorts of stuff. It's a whole different ballgame.
So what's the deal? What do they say?
They handle, and I quote, a comprehensive range of regulated waste, including hazardous, industrial, chemical, and medical waste, employing cutting-edge technology and processes that prioritize environmental sustainability and safety.
Wow, okay, so they're not messing around. Hazardous waste, that's serious business.
Totally. You need real expertise to manage that stuff safely.
Makes you wonder what kind of innovation is happening in waste management that we just don't see.
It's like a whole hidden world, right? Out of sight, out of mind.
Totally. Ready for one more before we move on?
Hit me.
This one's about their One Tree Planted partnership. The question is, how does your partnership with One Tree Planted work?
Ah, yes, the tree planting initiative. I always like when companies make an effort to offset their impact.
And their answer is pretty straightforward. For every service we provide, GreenFlow plants a tree in partnership with One Tree Planted. Simple, but effective.
It's a good example of integrating sustainability into your core business model.
Exactly. And honestly, who doesn't love the idea of companies planting trees? It's a nice visual.
Absolutely. Sends a strong message.
Okay, so we've talked about their process, their FAQs, even their tree planting thing. But what does it all mean for our listener?
Right. Let's bring it all home.
So we've really gotten into the nitty-gritty of sustainable waste with GreenFlow, but what's the takeaway here?
Yeah, good question. I think GreenFlow represents a bigger change, Sustainability isn't just a buzzword anymore. It's becoming essential for businesses to succeed.
It's like we were saying, being environmental conscious doesn't have to mean losing money.
Exactly. And for industries like food production, which haven't always been the most eco-friendly, this is crucial for their future.
GreenFlow gets that. They're helping these businesses adapt.
And it's not just food, right? Every industry creates waste and impacts the environment.
So it's less about hiring GreenFlow specifically and more about their mindset, applying that to our own lives.
Exactly. What if we all took a page from GreenFlow and did a waste assessment at home or work?
That's a great idea. We've been talking big picture, but even those sad vegetables in the fridge tell a story.
Totally. Small changes add up. Composting more, being more mindful of what we buy.
We can make a difference, just like those businesses working with GreenFlow.
It's all about perspective. Waste isn't just trash. It's often a misused resource.
Well said. So, listeners, here's a challenge. This week, really pay attention to your own waste. What can you reduce? Reuse. Recycle.
Like that mountain of food if we all cut down on waste.
We shrink that mountain one step at a time.
Exactly.
It's a team effort. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder your next sustainable move. Until next time, keep it mindful, keep it curious, and keep on diving deep.